First Amendment, of course, is an amendment to restore the Hyde and Weldon amendments to the Labor H bill. And it's important to remember, and I've made this point before, but every single Republican in the chamber is co-sponsoring this. I don't know that I've ever seen an amendment from our side that had that kind of unanimity. And I've listened very carefully to the discussion, both in the Appropriations Committee, because we had this debate there, and certainly in this committee. And look, I have a great deal of respect for people that differ on the issue, because I think they obviously feel strongly and passionately about this. For whatever reason, over the years, my friends on the Democratic side have changed their thinking on this, and this has become, it seems to me, an issue of equity and an issue of choice. From the Republican standpoint, it's an issue of life and an issue of conscience. So obviously, we're arguing with a different set of assumptions. And again, I don't say this critically. I mean, clearly, the Democratic Party's changed because the Hyde Amendment was passed with overwhelming Democratic majorities in the House and the Senate. So you've rethought your position of that over a long period of time, and that's certainly you're right. Our side has not changed, and I say this as an appropriator. Look, the last thing in the world I want is to not get appropriations bills done. That's what appropriators do. We think it's important to fund the government, but this to us, just as it is to you, is an absolute red line. And if we get to the end of this process and that language is not in there, I can just tell you, CR will be the best outcome then. And you could have a shutdown. I would hope not, for the reasons I said earlier. I just don't believe in government shutdowns. I think they're always a failure. I think they're always a mistake. But there are a lot of good things in these bills. There's a lot of things we agree on. There's certainly some things we don't agree on. I've been around the appropriations process long enough to know those things get worked out over the course of bargaining several months. But on this one, I don't think we're likely to agree. So at some point, you're going to have to make a fundamental choice on this. I would prefer that the amendments be adopted earlier. We might lose them on the floor, or, you never know. There are pro-life Democrats. We actually had a bipartisan vote supporting the restoration of the Hyde and Weldon amendment. So everybody can wrestle with their conscience however they feel is appropriate, and I respect that. But as somebody that spends a lot of time looking at appropriations bills and thinking about how to make them become law, not how to stop them, I can assure you, if we don't deal with this issue, it may not get out of the House. It certainly won't happen in the United States Senate, where it requires 60 votes. So none of these bills will ever get to the president's desk unless we resolve this issue. I think this amendment is the appropriate way. Again, you've changed your minds. We haven't changed ours. We're not asking you to vote any differently than most of you have voted in the past. You are asking us to do something. I actually went back and checked it. There's only one Republican that has ever voted for a Labor H bill that did not have the Hyde Amendment. That's Don Young, and that's because he arrived here 2 years before the Hyde Amendment became law, 3 years. So he actually did vote for one. But every other Republican that's voted for Labor H bill has always voted for the Hyde Amendment, and frankly, so have Democrats. So that to me is important. The second